Let's get into some shape. Hello, folks. How are you? This is Rick with the Out-of-Tune Podcast, and thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for just spending, I don't know, what will we do? 30 minutes? We'll do 30 minutes. Let's try to do 30 minutes. Keep it to 30 minutes if possible. I don't know. I got a lot to talk about, so it might go over. Let me say this really quick. You know, this podcast comes out. I did make a few, I made a couple little tweaks, all right? I should at least mention this to everybody who listens. For right now, podcast every Monday. So last year, the entire podcast, I tried to do a Monday and Thursday. Sometimes I did it, sometimes I didn't. And I've been listing this as a twice a week podcast. I'm going to cut back. We'll just do a weekly podcast. It's every Monday. And then I will do special podcasts on a regular basis. So occasionally I'll feel like putting another one out, and we'll do that on Thursday. I'm scheduling some interviews as we speak. And these interviews, the interview shows will come out on Thursday, okay? And I think I have a couple of guests already in the shoot. I keep them in the shoot, and then they're really mad when I interview them. So it makes it a great interview, you know, a lot of energy and emotion, something like that. But anyway, Thursdays, you'll hear that. For the most part, just tune in on Mondays. And today is Monday, Civil Rights Day. How you doing on your civil? Did you buy any presents for anybody on civil? What do? You give everybody freedom. That's what you do today. You give your people freedom. Give everybody freedom, a chance to be free, a chance to be who they are, live life as they want to live, be able to have the same opportunities as everyone. I think that's a great gift that we could give each other. Don't you? It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. You're an American now. We're all equal. Let's make it that way. If it's not, let's make it equal. It's a good idea. It's a good plan. Just because I'm an old white guy, I shouldn't have all the benefits. That's the way it tends to kind of work out. Let's just say this. We have a listener line, 678-348-0008. I don't even think I mentioned that this year. You're probably glad. 678-348-0008. You can call that listener line. You can say whatever you want. You can help program the show. Just give your opinion on something. Say what you want, as long as it's not offensive to somebody. I mean, it can't even be offensive, but if it's just like insulting or just something that I'll get sued for, I don't want to put that on the air. So, but you could just, it's your chance to program the show, kind of get involved. You can kind of, it's like for a little while, you're a host. You're like the guest host of the show. And you just call in, say what you want to do. If you don't want to talk, I understand. I'm a shy person. I don't like to talk, even though I'm doing this. You could text it. Just text the same number. I will read. I will be your voice. Like Steve Martin in Roxanne. I will, you write the piece and give it to me, and I'll be the handsome guy talking to Daryl Hannah again. And I'll read your piece to everybody. That's how it'd work. It's really cool. Then you can also email me, Rick at outatune.com. That's me. And that's the show. OUTTATOON. Both words spelled a little interesting. Yeah. That's it. We do have, I mean, there's a lot of social media things. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Threads. I'm on YouTube. And you could find me at all of those places. And you could join. You could just send me stuff. And anything that you send me, unless you tell me not to do it, I'll probably read on the air. Maybe I won't say you did it. You sent it. I don't want to tell your name unless you want me to. But it's a good way to get involved. I understand how podcasts work. The great thing about podcasts, you put them out, people listen to them at their convenience, but somebody may not hear this until March, April, maybe, I don't know, long time from now. That's what you do. Some of my favorite podcasts I haven't listened to in a little while. I got to catch up. Catching up on podcasts is a thing we do now. So I understand, but hopefully you can tell your friends about it. I like the fact that you could post about it on your Facebook, or any social media. Just say I like this podcast. Give it a listen, and then if you do that and you contact me and tell me you did it, you can even just tag the podcast. I'm okay with that. And then give me a mailing address. I'm not going to spam you, not going to send you anything, except I will send you stickers, Out of Tune podcast stickers, which are really cool. They have the little Out of Tune logo on it, which is interesting. It's sort of a Scottish flag in a way, kind of. A little Scottish flag. It's, what else is it? I can't remember now what else, all of the things that it was. But anyway, it looks really cool. It's also, you can find it, but it's the symbol for now. It's like living in the now. If you want to live in the now, it's there. Oh, I remember what it is. It's an O and a T. That's the show, Out of Tune. It's an O with a T in it, but also a Scottish flag and the symbol for now all inside there. Kind of cool. It may not be cool to you. I might be the only person in the whole world that it's cool to. This podcast used to be apocalyptic.com. Remember that? Oh, boy, that was a long time ago. Do you remember? Are you one of those people? Are you a classic listener? I know Gary is. Gary just bought an apocalyptic.com t-shirt, even though the podcast apocalyptic.com is done. I thought he made a mistake. I contacted him. I was like, Gary, do you really want that shirt? And he was like, yeah, I'm going to complete my collection. That's dedication right there. But if you could still type in apocalyptic.com and it'll take you here to outoftune.com too. But tell your friends about it, please. It does help out, and it's free for you to do that. It's just a nice gesture, and I'll send you stickers for free. Those stickers are kind of cool. What do we got to talk about today? Let's see. I got my wife and I, we've made a couple commitments for the year. I got to tell you about those. We're doing this thing called Swedish Death Cleaning. It's an actual thing. Look it up. Swedish Death Cleaning. I like the idea of it. I'm a little obsessed with death on the podcast. I think you get that way when you start getting up in years. Start thinking about your death. What are you going to do? Everybody's going to go. We're all going to do it. We're all going to kick off. Might as well just be aware of it. Think about it. Swedish Death Cleaning is a cool thing. And I've sort of invented this in my own head, I think. But apparently the Swedes, or a particular Swedish person, invented this and decided to make it theirs. And they called it Swedish Death Cleaning. And what you do is you go through your house and you clean it like you're dying. Now, what that means, you're not cleaning your house as if you're dying at the time. You got to put some energy into it. But the cleaning is as if, let's just imagine that you got a diagnosis that you've got 6 months to live. Well, you don't want to leave that for other people, right? You don't want other people going through your stuff, doing something with it, making a decision on that. This is like, wow, look at this. This is Gary's apocalyptic.com shirt. I remember that was a new one point. He really loved that shirt. Now we got to do something with it. That they'll be doing that tomorrow. I got junk. I got so much junk. Books. I'm looking at books and CDs right now. Art. So much art everywhere. My wife's dad died in the 90s, left so many paintings, and now they're just in our attic. They're just in our storage. We have paintings from my father-in-law, who I never met, sitting in our. We don't. What are we going to do with them? And then when I'm gone and when she's gone, who's going to take them and do? See what I'm saying? It never stops. So at some point you got to just kind of decide, let's clean, let's get rid of this. I don't want to leave this for my wife to do. I mean, some of it she's going to have to do. I can't get rid of everything, but at least I could go through and just go, you know what? I've kept this since I was in my 20s and I don't need it anymore. So let's get rid of it. And that's Swedish Death Cleaning. That's going through, cleaning up all of your junk as if you're going to die so no one else has to do it for you. I think, what a great idea. Maybe we could call it something better. Maybe, I don't know. But it's exactly what it is. It tells you the truth. And I think it really shows what it's going to accomplish, what the reason why you're doing it. It gives you a focus. It's just like, if you don't do it now, someone's going to have to do it later. I have a box full of stuff. I mean, you always have a little thing of mementos, things I've collected. I mean, I guess, middle school, maybe elementary school, and definitely into high school. Some of my old high school newspapers. I don't need them. Why am I hanging on to them? Why am I keeping them? I have my pledge banner for when I was in college and I pledged a fraternity. I had my little banner that you had, this stupid banner you had to wear for like a month. I don't know. Was it 3 months? I don't know how long it took. The stupid banner you wore it around so everybody knew you're pledging. And if you met somebody in the fraternity, they got to tell you to do dumb things in front of everybody. Why do we do that? Why? Anyway, we did it. I still have that. I have it. What am I going to pledge again? No. Why am I hanging on to it? And it's not like I go in and visit it all the time. I rarely see it. So I don't need it. I don't need to keep it in a box. I just got to throw things away. I got to get rid of things. If you listen to this podcast when it was apocalyptic.com, way back last year, I don't know, late last year, there was an episode that we talked about a big event that was happening in Scotland where they were going, it was the biggest search for the Loch Ness Monster ever. Did you hear about this? It happened. We talked about it on the podcast. It was coming up. And it kind of squeaked by me, and I didn't realize it. And I saw something I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And I looked. It's like, what happened? What, did they find it? You know they did. That many people looking for it? How hard is it going to be to find this huge monster in a loch? Apparently impossible because they didn't find it. They found nothing. I don't know why they would do it because, first of all, that city is run on tourists, and then having that legend is important. If everybody believes that the Loch Ness Monster doesn't exist or is dead or whatever, why would they come out? Everybody wants to come out and see it. So it just don't kill your tourist industry. But they did. They pretty much did. They did find one thing they thought they found. Maybe the monster could be dead. Something on the bottom of the loch that looked like the monster. Pulled it up and was a fake monster. It was one of the monsters someone had used to try to do a fake video, fake movie, fake thing. They found it on the bottom. A faux Loch Ness monster. Man. But they didn't find a monster. So you could say, a lot of the locals said, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So maybe it's still out there. We just didn't find it. I think that's the way you got to say it. You don't want to kill your industry. But most people are like, I think it's about time to give up on finding the monster. I don't think we're going to. So that's the result of it. All of those people, all that technology, everything, no monster. I kind of knew that's the way it was gonna go. They're not going to find any of those kind of things. They're not going to find those space aliens, movie space aliens. They're not going to find Bigfoot. No vampires, werewolves. There's no zombies. There's no ghosts. I'm not even going to go into the church. I'm not even going to go into the religion. I'm just saying, speaking of religion, Jesus said, seek and you will find. So that's what you do. You seek and you will find the truth. You'll find what exists, which sometimes is nothing. But that's what happened. All right. The other thing my wife and I are committing to, this is actually a good thing. Well, the other thing was good too. This is looking forward to this in a way. We have decided. So my wife came to me and said, I've decided we're going to get our 5 servings of fruits and vegetables in every meal. 5 servings. That's a lot of food. So it's just like 5 servings of food in a meal? That's more than what I generally eat. But anyway, she said, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get our 5 servings of fruits and vegetables in every meal. I'm going to guarantee it. That's what we're going to do. So I started doing some research and it's not the most glamorous thing, but fiber, everybody knows the whole story of fiber and to talk about fiber. So I just started researching fiber. And what I discovered was every single thing that's wrong with me physically that I struggle with, whether it's blood pressure, weight, triglycerides, I don't know, whatever, all of the stuff, it has to do with lack of fiber. I'm not getting my fiber in. And I started researching how much I need and where it comes from. I don't get it. So they say, especially for someone my age, they say about 30 grams of fiber a day you need. And the average American gets about 15. We get about half of the fiber we need. And that could lead to so many problems. Heart disease, a lot of stuff. Diabetes even. Just do some research. Look at it. Check it out. And they're saying fiber is just like a miracle thing. You start adding more into your diet, more and more and more. You can still eat other foods. Who cares? Just eat what you eat. Just add more fiber. You put more fiber in and you get more healthy. More fiber means more health. It's science. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We're working it out now to where we're going to start having lots of fiber in the meals, like woodchuck, having the fiber. I don't know. I'm a little behind on it. I think you're supposed to do it like when you're much younger than me, but I generally don't do what I'm supposed to do. And now here I am at this age, and I might as well do it while I can. Last minute. Everything I do is last minute. So the last minute, here I go. I'm going to try it, see if I could be healthy for how much, I don't know how much, 5 years, 2 years that I have left. At least I'll die fibrous, apparently. Speaking of fiber, I don't know if you know anything about avocados. I'm not a huge avocado fan. My wife loves avocados. Avocados. Is it Ava? I don't know. Avocados, she loves them. She puts them in a lot of stuff. She's forced me to eat them. Literally, no. I said no. She just sticks them in my throat, crams them in my throat. I've learned, to me, I call it grass pudding. That's what it tastes like to me. Avocado is grass pudding. But she starts putting it in salad, and so I just eat it. It's easier than saying no. And she works so hard. She cooks when she doesn't have to. She does it because she likes it. So I can't say anything. I have to eat it. So I can't say I've learned to love avocados, but I've learned to enjoy them in certain meals. I'll just let them be there. Just like, okay, that was grass pudding. Okay, thank you. Put it in a salad. It's okay. But here's a little thing about avocados maybe you didn't know. Over the centuries, various foods have enjoyed transient notoriety for their supposed aphrodisiac effects. Did you know? 16th century Spanish explorers were entranced by the pendulous avocado fruits of Mexico. I would call avocados pendulous. Maybe there are some. I haven't seen them, especially when they were told avocado means testicle in the local tongue. Did you know? I heard that too. Avocado means testicle. They look okay. The amorous conquistadores immediately began shipping the fruits home, where they would be turned into a paste for foolish old men to apply to their genitals while sitting out in the sun. So much wrong with that sentence. Naturally, the crushed avocados failed to have the desired effect, but the Mexicans, it seems, derived no ends of amusement from tales of such antics. Old men slathering their genitals with avocado. Stay away from the nursing homes, people. That's the kind of activities they have on Thursday night. I don't know. That's why I don't eat them. I wouldn't even slather them on my genitals. I really don't. That's another reason to hate guacamole. I'll tell you that. That's kind of what it is, though, right? It's what guacamole is just whipped up avocado, and to be honest, it kind of tastes a little like genitalia. I just rather say no. It's not something maybe you do. I don't. If you do. I don't want to make fun of it. If you like it, that's great. Don't put it on your genitals. All right. The tomato once enjoyed extended infamy as a potent aphrodisiac as well. The fruits and vegetables, especially in the old days, the stories about how they, what they could do for your love life, people just didn't have anything better to do. Well, the fruit was introduced in Europe by the Moors. What am I thinking of? Othello. Othello, the Shakespeare play. Othello was a Moor, right? Which prompted the French to call it the pomme de Moor, which I just said that. I don't speak French, by the way. Pomme de Moor. The English misheard this as pomme d'amour or love apple. Next time you go to Moe's or a restaurant and you're ordering a salad and they said, what would you like on it? Just say love apple. Put a big love apple on it. Also, I'd like to slather some guacamole on my genitalia right here. Of course, they leapt to the inevitable conclusion. The medieval church mounted a counterattack by suggesting the fruit was in fact poisonous. That's what the church does when you compete against their magic. They'll just start a whole new bad rumor. Because the tomato plant resembles a deadly nightshade, to which it is in fact related, notions of the fruit's so-called toxicity became enshrined in medical lore. All right, the idea became cemented in the 16th century mind with the publication of John Gerard's Herbal in 1597, which condemned the plant for generations to come. Long after the church had moved on to other concerns, we won't mention any, the medical profession was still firmly on the opinion that anyone who ate 2 or 3 tomatoes would suffer instant death. Why didn't they try it out? Why didn't they see? It was not until the early to mid 18th century that this idea was on the whole disproved following simple experimentation on the part of thrill seekers. Yes. Thank God for thrill seekers. All right. America remained convinced of the tomato's toxicity until the early 19th century, when, according to legend, Colonel Robert Gibbon Johnson stood on the steps of the old courthouse of Salem on 26 September 1820 and ate a basketful before an astonished crowd. That's how you get rid of lore right there, is just do it. So tomatoes are supposed to be poison. There's just eat. All right, there's no magic in foods. There's no magic in anything. Can you just eat your food? Well, speaking of food, here's something you don't know. Maybe you don't know this about me. I don't even know why you would. I would, on my TV, I would put my TV on diners, drive-ins, and dives and lock it there and never leave. I would just watch Guy Fieri go around to city and watch people make food forever. That's what I would do. I can't, that show, it's I don't know, it's like a long sucker where you just, it kind of keeps you busy for, let's don't go into that. Anyway, I love it. I could just watch it, and I'm vegetarian, but I would watch, that's how I watch people eating meat, making meat. I just live vicariously through them. I'm like, okay, I can't have ribs, but I can watch these people make ribs and eat ribs, and it looks so good. And now I'm satisfied. But half the time I see stuff, and I have to text my wife. I'm like, okay, we need to have, brats and some kind of weird thing tonight. And she's like, what? Have you been watching Guy Fieri? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I did today. But I can watch that all the time. And then the cool thing is when something from your hometown shows up, he's been in Atlanta several times, been in Knoxville several times, places I remember when I was in Knoxville. But it made me start thinking, everybody's city, even if you live in a small town, there's a diner, a drive-in, or a dive that was there that you grew up with. And I'm curious what it was. And what I would like for you to do is let me know. Send it to me. And you could do it through email, because I want to compile these and I want to read them online or read them on the air not online, I'll print them online, read them on the air, about these drive-ins and dives that we all love so much. What were yours? Where were yours? What city were you in? I'm going to tell you a couple of mine. I grew up Strawberry Plains, Tennessee. There was Cardin's Drive-In. I don't know if it's still there. If you're from Strawberry Plains, Tennessee, and you're listening to this right now, is Cardin's Drive-In still there? It was green, little green roof on it. And it just, not fancy food. Just go have a hot dog, have a hamburger, fries. People would go drive in. It's a little drive-in. They would just drive up and have, I don't know. It was kind of old, I think, when I was growing up. So I don't, unless they restored it, they might have rebuilt it or something. Cardin's. I didn't even look it up. Should have looked it up, see if it still exists. I wonder if they would deliver to Atlanta. Cardin's Drive-In, if you're ever in Strawberry Plains, see if it's there. Stop in, get you some tater tots or fries or something. The other ones that I remember from my youth, Pop's Place in Jefferson City, Tennessee. I don't even think it. I'm sure it's not there. Somebody told me it's not there. Pop's was the place. So when I was in college, I went to a Southern Baptist college, and it was in a really, really, really small town. There weren't a lot of things open, but Pop's would be open. I believe they were open 24 hours. They were open all night, and you would go into Pop's Place, and immediately it just smelled like grease and cigarettes. You remember those kind of places? You walk in, and then you would go back to the dorm, and everybody would be like, "You just went to Pop's, didn't you?" Yeah, I did. Pop's had all of the dive stuff, and I just remember this long bar, just long table bar, bar stools, people just sitting there eating their breakfast, eating their dinner, smoking cigarettes, sometimes one in each hand, just like smoking away. I used to go there with my friend. He smoked. I would bum his cigarette. I would smoke one. We would just sit and just smoke. Everybody smoked. You had to smoke at Pop's Place. They would kick you out if you didn't smoke. In the back, they had, I think they had some pool tables and maybe some video games. I probably played pool a couple times at Pop's, but not that many times. I didn't go that much. You had to be prepared when you went. Then the other place was Gino's. Now, Gino's was where everybody went in Jefferson City at the time. I don't think it's still there either. Gino's was a pizza place. I worked at Gino's. It was a kind of a rite of passage. If you grew up in that area, you had to work at Gino's for a little while. You remember that place? Learned to make pizzas a little bit at Gino's, and I would go do my whole summer, work this whole summer at Gino's. And then when I was in college, I was a theater major. We would do rehearsal. We would do a show. After it's over, we'd go hang out at Gino's, sit around, drink sweet tea, and eat pizza and breadsticks, and just cut up and just be goofy as much as we could. That was fun. Just do dumb things that kids do, draw on the table and stuff. Art students. But those are mine. What were yours? Come on, man. Share them with me. Let me know. Your diners, drive-ins, or dives. What was the name of it? What was the city? What do you remember about it? Almost all of them have to involve cigarettes, I think. Especially back when that's the thing. It depends on when you grew up. Because I grew up in the 70s, you could smoke indoors. And people did. So that was the thing. Just smoke up, people. All right, let me know. Hey, all right, I'm going to stop here for today. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground. I'm satisfied talking about, now I want a cigarette. See, I haven't smoked. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was just like, the one thing is I finally got to a point in my life where I'm not craving a cigar, a cigarette, or a pipe. And then I talk about smoking at Pop's Place, and I want to light up a cigarette now. I don't mean to be that trigger for you. Trying to quit. Sorry for bringing it up. Hey, it's fun talking with you. It's fun hanging out with you. I hope we can do it every week, every Monday. And hang on. I think Thursday we're going to have an interview. That's right. Oh, wait till you see. It's going to be a good one. Until then, I I'm going to light up, and I'll see you later.